What up, fellas? So besides the two obvious reasons, which are number one, it's not your seed, you're taking care of somebody else's seed. And number two, the kid will always come before you. The kid will always be a priority before you. Besides those two reasons, let's talk about some other stuff in this video. I'm gonna keep fixing my shirt, man. I'm getting too big to fit in these shirts. No, I'm just playing. So, what are you giving up when you start dating long-term and, God forbid, marry a single mother? You're giving up your manhood. How are you giving up your manhood? You're telling yourself subconsciously or even consciously, for some of you guys who have extremely low self-esteem, you're subconsciously or consciously telling yourself, I'm not good enough to start anything on my own. I can't start my own business. I have to get into, as an employee, into somebody else's business, because that's what you are. Essentially, at the end of the day, even if it's your family that you built from scratch as a husband, or if it's you becoming the stepfather of some other bastard. Either scenarios, you become an employee. But at least if you have your own kids and your own family, you're an employee in your own business. Maybe you started your own business by yourself, and maybe somewhere along the line, the paperwork got all messed up, and somebody took the power away from you. Maybe you signed somewhere on a dotted line where you shouldn't have been. You see what I'm saying with this? You see the irony behind it? You see, not the irony, you see the sarcasm behind it? Because that's what you're doing. You're signing on the dotted line on the marriage certificate, and she takes the power away from you. So now you become the employee in your own business. What's the business? Your life, your lifestyle, your own house, your own cars. But at least you're becoming an employee in your own business that you started, instead of somebody else's. Not only that, you have less power now as a employee, you have even less of a power that you would have if you were your employee in your own business. Why? Because if it was your own business, the people who took the power away from you, i.e. your wife and children, those people still give a shit about your opinion when things hit the ceiling, when rough times come. Why? Because you were the one who built it from scratch. You were the one who was going through it when there was nobody around to help you with it. So that's why your opinion is valid to them. They respect that, at least. Even if they take it or don't take it, even if they respect you or don't respect you, at least they'll respect the opinion of you when crunch time comes around. But what about when you're an employee of somebody else's business? They don't give a shit what you gotta say. You abide by their plan. At least in your own business, you built that plan, and now you became the employee, and now you're following your own plan that you built because somebody else is telling you to follow that plan, and you don't have any power to change that plan either. But you're in somebody else's business. You see where I'm going with this, fellas, right? So are you telling me you're not good enough? Pause the video, look at yourself in the mirror. Are you really telling yourself that out of 3 billion women in this world, you have to settle down with this single mother? You could not find anything better. You really want me to believe that? You really want yourself to believe that? Really? Why are you even watching red pill videos? Sure, single mothers are a great time to have fun with. One night, 2 nights, even you can even put them on your rotation for a couple months. But long-term dating, let alone marriage, you gotta be losing your goddamn mind for that to happen. I gotta be in a position of where I'm so broke and so out of power that I'm begging for food and shelter to marry a single mother. Not marry, sorry, to long-term date. I wouldn't even marry a single mother if my life was at question. I would rather die than marry a single mother. Matter of fact, as of right now, In my life, as I'm thinking about the future, I would rather die than get married at all with anybody. But I say that because I don't know what the future holds. Maybe my mind will change. Maybe the marriage laws will change, which will change my mind. But as long as the marriage laws are where they are today, I would rather die than marry anyone, single mother or non-single mother, whoever it is. But I would have to be broke as a joke to be dating long-term a single mother. And even then, I would only be dating her to use her. That's it. To use her for her money, for her resources, to take me from point A to point B, so maybe I can get a job and stand up on my own 2 feet. After that, I won't just stop talking to her. I won't just kick her off. I'll start building I'll start spinning other plates. I'll start putting other girls in my rotation then. Why? Because I believe in karma. She helped me when I didn't have anything going on for myself. So I'm not gonna act like a complete a-hole to her for no reason. If she gives me a reason, then yeah, I'll get rid of her. But I'll still keep her in my rotation. I'll still hook up with her every now and then. Those are great times with single mothers, especially if their kid is like in a very young age. Oh man, they're so fun. Do you know why? Because they're always busy with the kid. They barely have any time for themselves. So when they finally get some time out of the day or out of the night, she lets it all out. She's a freaking freak. Every single mother I banged out, they were freaks. They'll suck your soul out, fellas. You won't have a drip of cum left in your balls. They'll empty it out, all of it. They'll swallow it. They'll let you put it in whatever hole you want to. Oh yeah, believe me, best believe me. But fellas, do you know what else happens with single mothers? And it's not just with single mothers. There's few things that imprint on a woman. There's few things a man can do that imprint on a woman. First thing is taking her virginity. She'll never forget who she lost her virginity to. She might forget who she hooked up with on her senior year in college or junior in college when she was coming home one night from the bar and found a hot guy off of the street. She will forget his name. Oh, best believe it. But she will never forget who she lost her virginity to. Second one, she will never forget who the father of her baby daddy is. Every single day she's looking at him when she looks at the kid. Plain and simple. Right? So you're telling me you would rather settle down with somebody who has already been imprinted twice. One, by the guy who she lost her virginity to. One, by her baby daddy. Unless the baby daddy is the one who she lost her virginity to. Those are pretty rare in today's world, when women have 17 different kinds of birth control and men have 3. There's a double standard for you. So you're telling me you would rather settle with somebody who has been imprinted by 2 dudes before you than finding somebody who has been imprinted by either just one or none? How low value do you have to think like that, fellas? Come on now, come on. This is why you should never date a single mother. Never. If it feels like you're spending more than $10 on her on a first date, you're doing too much. I don't care if she's a dime piece. We talked about why you should never date a woman with tattoos, right? And how impulsive it is, right? Like, women are very impulsive. They cannot control that urge of just destroying their mentality. A single mother's mentality is 100 times worse than somebody who just have tattoos. Their impulsive behavior is being magnified 1,000 times more than someone who has only an impulsive behavior when it comes to getting tattoos and piercings and cock hopping. Why? Because having a kid for a woman is life-changing. It is a life-changing decision for us men as well. But fellas, when a woman gives birth to a kid, not only does her life changes completely, her body changes for the rest of her life. Her mentality changes for the rest of her life. We men have the ability to overcome those obstacles. This is why you see more guys leave their kids than more girls. Now, the number of men leaving their kids because the guy himself is a piece of shit is relatively low than the guys who have been forced out of the relationship by the single mother. But with that notion, also keep in mind that the number of guys who leave kids behind are higher than the number of women who leave kids behind. I'm just comparing data and stats. That's it. I'm not saying who's better than what. I'm not taking sides, none of that. I gotta call out guys too, right? I can't be just calling out women all the time. And why do you think that's happening? Because a man's mentality is based on logic. So when he sees that there's a better opportunity in his life, because that's how narcissistic and selfish he is, than staying with his kid, he will take that. And it's a little bit easier for him to make that decision to overcome the kid's needs and the kid's wants and the kid's desires and overcome those emotional sides than it is for a woman. So a woman is literally done for when she has a kid. So that's why her impulsiveness is that much worse when she's a single mother, because she knew what she's getting into. Or let's just say that she didn't know what she was getting into, but at least she hears about it, right? From her outside, from people outside. And even then, knowing about it all, she just doesn't know about it from first-hand experience. But there's tons of examples today, to see how single mothers' lives are turning out to be. Fellas, their lives shit. We all know this. More on that a little bit later. So after seeing all these around them, they still go ahead and make that decision to have this baby. What does that tell you about them? And also, what does that tell you about the guy who she had the baby with? And we hear this all the time in all sorts of red pill content, right? One or two, or both. Either she's a garbage person, that's why she picked another garbage dude who probably couldn't provide. Or she's a garbage who picked a good person, but didn't want that good person to be in that picture. Either ways, the bad fingers are pointing at her. And if somebody makes a terrible, terrible, terrible decision like this, decision about something that's life-changing for her, what do you think she's going to do when it comes to making decisions in your life? How much worse do you think she's going to make your life? Everything is sunshine and roses in the first 6 months, or even the first 6 years. I'll even give you that. When you're with a girlfriend or marry someone with your wife, when you're with your wife or whatever. But what happens after that? See, we often forget to look at the big picture, fellas, when we're dating someone long term, or when we're about to marry someone. How many couples get married nowadays after dating for over 6 or 7 years? I know 0 couples who do that. Most couples get married after 2 or 3 years of dating. So are you telling me that your life is only as good as the next 2 or 3 years after your marriage? Because I know that within the first 2 or 3 years, if you get married after those first 2 or 3 years, those first 2-3 years was your cupcake phase. You need to get out of the cupcake phase, fellas, to really be able to judge a woman, judge the girl who you're with. Because when you're in the cupcake phase, what's the cupcake phase? Cupcake phase is like the honeymoon phase, right? That's the phase that you go through, that you guys get it on 5 times a day. You just can't stop telling each other I love you every hour. You have to check up on each other. You have to wipe each other's ass. That's the cupcake phase. You just cannot resist each other. All that fairy tale bullshit. You have to get out of that phase to finally start thinking with your clear head, because in that phase you're thinking with the wrong head. Your vision is blurred because you're so full of cum all the damn time. So when you're out of the cupcake phase, now you can make the decisions that, hey, do I really want this person in my later in my life? And I promise you, couples who only date 2 to 3 years and then get married or propose to each other are still in the cupcake phase. And yes, the cupcake phase can last that long, absolutely. But as more and more progressive we become, quote unquote progressive, right? The less of that, the chances of that happening becomes less and less. Most people end their cupcake phase around the first 4 to 6 months. Why? Because the more progressive we get, the more progressive these bitches get, the more options they have, and the more I don't want to settle mentality they start to adapt to. That's why. So fellas, this is why you should never date a single mother. Just knowing about it, like, oh, it's so disgusting that so many cocks have been in and out of her. So many dudes have been busted in and out of her. And I'm going to go down on her. I'm going to eat her out at some point. And I'm going to kiss her mouth, knowing what she did in that mouth. And on top of that, I have a daily reminder of this bastard in front of me. Because that's what the kid really is, ultimately. It's a bastard, right? To remind me every day what I'm dealing with? How can you possibly have a healthy mindset to live with yourself knowing that, fellas? Wake the fuck up. Jesus. Improve yourself. Then you will have options. That's the only chance we have in this society. In today's time, it's rough out here. I know it is. These bitches won't even give you the time of their day to even say hello back to you if you just say, hey. They'll look away from you. They won't even look at you, fellas. It's rough out here. What do? You improve yourself. The only way to go is up. Nowhere else. The only way to go is straight up. You hit rock bottom. There's no more space to keep going down from there. It's just time to now go up. That's it. It's so simple to turn your life around. All you need to have is discipline, self-discipline, patience, and consistency. That's all you need to have, fellas. All the materials, all the information that you need to improve your life is in the palm of your hands. So instead of searching up porn, instead of searching up threesomes and watching threesomes on your phone from a porn website, living somebody else's fantasy, make your fantasy a reality for yourself so you don't have to watch somebody else do it. Spend your time on improving your life. You guys are sitting out there at home just watching porn all day, playing video games, eating junk food with no ambition in life. I'm not saying playing video games, eating junk food, or watching porn should be eliminated 100%. But limit them, fellas. Limit them to like 2% or even 1%. And the rest of the time should be spent on improving yourself. Why sit around and complain and cry about women's nature? You've heard and learned plenty of women's nature videos. Learn from plenty of women's nature's videos. What more do you want? What more do you need? Why do I still have guys, my friends, and my channel is still very, very small, right? I don't even get that many views. And even then, I have guys DMing me and my friends hitting me up asking me, why did she do this? Why did she do that? Why did she ignore my call? Why did she not text me back? Who the fuck cares? Why does it matter what she did? She can go to hell. She can die in a car accident for all I give a shit about. She can get raped. She can get gangbanged and raped. And thrown out butt naked on the side of the road for all I care, fellas. She don't pay my bills. Rent's due next month. You gotta feed yourself. You're gonna get hungry in the next few hours. Is she gonna feed you? Is she gonna buy you food? So why the fuck does it matter why she didn't call you back? Why she didn't return your text? Why are you even asking me or even yourself that question? Why aren't you asking yourself better questions? How do I get bigger biceps? How do I get a more chiseled six-pack? How does my credit score go up? How do I buy my first rental property? Who do I need to talk to know more about the 20% conventional loan? Who do I need to talk to? What website do I need to go search to look for bachelor's in mechanical engineering degree? To find out more about that. I got some money saved. I can spend it on some on some nice clothes or a new car. Not to flex, to get more chicks. Just so I feel good about myself. Just so my confidence level is higher. Fellas, when your confidence level is high, you feel good about yourself, you live longer. Do you know how? Because you don't have so much stress. Financial stress, health stress. You just live a healthier, better, happier life. That's what I want you guys to be doing. What are these bitches giving you? When you're asking me these questions, why she do this? What does it mean when she do that? It's giving you frustration. It's giving you stress. Do you want to add that to your life? She's not even in your life, and she's already taken value away from your life. Let alone adding value to your life. She's not even in your goddamn life. And you're already stressed out about her. What does that tell you about her? It tells you and me that this is a bitch you need to throw in the fucking garbage can. Does it matter if you get the ass or not? Does it matter if you slay them cheeks or not? No, it doesn't. You're not gonna die just because you couldn't stick your dick in her. Matter of fact, if you want to, even take 5 years off the dating market completely. It's gonna be hard, I know. But I promise you, you're going to be so much better off. And most of us don't have that self-discipline. Most of us, meaning, I even include myself. I don't even have that high of a self-discipline. But I know that if I did, and if I really wanted to get there, I could. But I don't need to right now. And I don't want to either. But I know that I have the self-discipline to at least hold it all off for another year or 2 more years. Half of you guys don't even have that patience. A year and 2 years go by like that, fellas, in the blink of an eye. It's not that long time. And you guys don't even have that patience. And you want to sit here and ask me why, and know why I don't want to date single mothers, why I don't want to date girls with tattoos. These videos get so many more views than the videos when I talk about self-improvement. That's the type of shit that pisses me off. That's the type of shit that piss any red pill content creator off. Because we're out here trying to put this mindset in the back of your head. We're trying to just drill this mindset in your head. Unless this mindset is drilled into your head, fellas, you're not gonna get it. I promise you. Unless you go through some tragedy, some trauma, you're not gonna get it. So maybe you do need to date a single mother and see how shitty your life becomes, and see how shitty your sex life becomes. See how quick she turns around and holds the sex as hostage from you in exchange of doing chores and doing this and that for her. See how quick her kid becomes a first priority over you. See how quick her cooking and cleaning and draining your nutsack off stops. See how quick you become a walking ATM. Maybe you do need to go do that. Because that's what's happening when you're dating these single mothers. So stop fucking dating these thoughts, these hoes. She's for the streets. She's for the boys. Let the next let the next train run over her. Run through her. It's not your job to save her. Who the hell are you? You ain't God, bro. Are you God? Then why are you saving her? Save your own damn self. You're sinking your own self. Your life is shit. Get the fuck back up and make some shit happen. Hope this video made sense. Follow me on Instagram at zeekpeak. DM me questions. Don't take it personal. And even if you do, I don't really give a fuck. This is the message every single one of you out there needs to hear. Share your stories with me. I love to hear them. Share your questions. Ask me questions. I check my DMs on Instagram a lot more than my YouTube comments. Like, comment, subscribe. Share this video to your friends. Until next time, stay blessed, stay beautiful, and above all, you already know, stay classy.